do I, like, even need an explanation of why you're here? You know, I've been saying that for almost 10 years in this game, but, yeah, somehow, someway, I'm always gonna get wrapped up. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews, in the middle of what's pretty bad family affair for a Mexican standoff. Could you agree to that signal? Yeah, totally. Look, you don't understand. There were rules. Retro has to do this double review or also finally get around to his Nerf pilot and most of the other Fate stuff that he forgot to mention the last time he did a Nerf review. Card below, by the way. Cole, okay, this is absolutely stupid. You know I could grab you right here from this angle. Yeah, but my bullets are from Halo, and it's totally special bullets. Okay, this is that camera logic I've been hearing from Retro, more or less, right? Cougar rules, not really more on the Agito kind. Thank you for the explanation as usual, so... With him being kidnapped once again. Also, when is your stuff going to be charging throughout the majority of this double review? Probably by the end like usual. Okay, cool. Wait, what do you mean stuff's charging? Is this another weird twist that he told me to do? Okay, who told you to do this? Well, I can't tell you he's got working names and stuff like that, and, long story short, he has to do a double review. It's an apprentice, I swear, Retro, I swear, it's a Jigsaw apprentice. The real Nerf kind, or, look, oh, would you look at that? The first double review, Blue Beetle, go. Yeah, I actually thought it was cool. I mean, I kind of agree too. I've kind of known him more as a meta-human like myself, mainly through the Scarab. But, yeah, for Jaime's story, it's not the best, but it's better than what we all thought it would be. And given that this is still DCU we're talking here, going into whatever's James Gunn's DC, it's not the worst idea, I'm gonna be honest. Would you agree, Retro? Yeah, totally. Signal, I totally got you. Damien, what do you think? Because didn't you used to have him once or twice in the Titans? No, and they never let me be near Jaime anyway. Anyway, as for the cast itself, it's not bad. It's pretty much the closest thing to a 90-minute romp, I guess we would call, in this low stakes kind of action. Long story short, would you agree, Retro? Okay, first of all, kid, never say romp again. And also, what happened to your new suit? Yeah, speaking of, am I going to get that? Because I'm technically in high school and father swore up and down not to complain about me being public school. Look, you're in the brownstone area of freaking Gotham. You're gonna need to do public school one way or another. Like, seriously, just put me back in and I'll do protection for him. Okay, cool. So before we all dox each other's names, how about we get to my overall thoughts? Yes. I thought it was good. On the score, it's definitely a 7 out of 10, and saying that's a lot for, I don't know, most of DCU as of this year alone, that's saying a lot. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have more to say negatives-wise when it comes to Aquaman later next month, but other than that, it's totally worth it. As for Jaime himself, Cholo Muradas, if I got his last name right, him and his fellow Cobra Kai alum, Jacob, who's obviously Hawk in Cobra Kai proper, have their own podcast and did a really cool deep dive on just now finally getting around to talking about the since the strikes are over, and totally worth it. He's talked about a lot of the crucial stuff. Spoilers, by the way, for Jaime's dad when he passes away. Through an action sequence, I think, in this movie. He talked a lot more in depth about that. That kind of gravitated for me, because, you know, I lost my dad 2 years ago, for those who don't know, here on the channel. And, yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty nice. Haven't finished the full, that podcast's full episode, but other than that, I highly recommend it, card above, as usual. And, yeah, ultimately, as far as, this goes, it's definitely worth, your time. Again, DC is taken probably more of a hit than Marvel has been the last couple of years, even this year alone, if you could believe that. But if you're down to just seeing what a clear-cut example of what either universe of DC you want is going to be right there, full center. And, yeah, ultimately, Susan Sarandon, who thought she could have a good villain in her this late in the game? I got to give her that. And, yeah, for the rest of Jaime's family, they're totally worth it. George Lopez is obviously the biggest example of, like, hey, a cool uncle that's trying to get him more of his Iron Man moment of trying to understand where everything goes. And the less said, the better. It's better than what you thought it was when it was out in theaters earlier this year, and might be in honorable mention contention when it comes to the end of the year list, because honorable mentions are getting stuffier by the week. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So, yeah, Cole, what's the next one? Oh, you know why I'm here. You know damn well why I'm here. You know! That your book is finally done, and I'm waiting for the full, I guess, volume to finally read the Rosenberg run. Okay, well, that, and Saw, X. Da da da. Okay, yeah, cool. I'm gonna need you to not do the full Hello Zeb theme because YouTube copyrights and stuff like that. And like I said, I think a few weeks back, I think if I remember correctly, the last time around I did Saw reviews was Spiral. Yeah, part of that. And what I forgot that time around, and I just figured out before this review, turns out Tobin Bell, other than being a picture cameo in that previous movie, actually did a cover for, I think, Hurt, by Johnny Cash. And it sounded pretty cool. Like I said, I think leading up to this double review, I think he did some music covers for his personal channel. I'll see if I can try that find that particular track in the cards above. As for the movie itself, it's finally one of those rare times I get to say it. Yeah, Saw is absolutely back. It's back to basics. It's probably the only thing I think this franchise hasn't really done is a full prequel, which is saying a lot given the amount of flashbacks they've had throughout the majority of the main series. It might as well have been a prequel of its own if you do it in chronological order, depending on who you ask. I think there's a guy on Reddit that's actually trying to do a complete narrative timeline of all the flashbacks in the previous entries, but again, that's up to you if you want to see that, if that guy even gets that done. I forgot the YouTuber that I sat through his complete saga for what is up to date with here with X. Go to the card there. I think he's mostly a animation-based YouTuber that talks about like funny Family Guy and South Park. I'm trying to figure out if he's a Austin Trench approved kind of guy. Speaking from one YouTuber friend to another. Sorry in advance. That being said, Trenchman aside, what do we think about the traps this time around here? Well, we're going to have to get the most obvious one in the marketing out of the way. Yeah, the eyeball trap you're seeing here, long story short, is actually a dream sequence. Outside of that, you get a little bit more of a context that you could with John than you ever could in the original movies. I think the marketing of this movie was basically, it was set in between Saws 1 and 2, and you could definitely tell that him and Amanda, now back with Shawnee Smith coming back as Amanda, they both have a lot more of time to pretty much set up, like, her being conflicted with John's traps, and maybe she was getting more sympathetic with most of, like, I think one of the victims that were also drug addicts just like her. As for the main traps you'll actually see, I think the most gnarliest goes to Mateo's over here, because I think the whole plot around X this time around was mainly because this was the rare times John was actually trying to cure his cancer naturally before having to go the Saw 3 slow ass mother, who of it all traps in that movie. That being said, for the majority of the traps, I won't spoil them much because it is absolutely worth it, especially the leg chop-off, scene. Not really much of a nod to, the original movies, but definitely of its own creation when it comes to, like, decapitation as long as it goes. As for John in question, you get a little more sympathy than I thought you could. This is probably no part due to Tobin Bell now coming in like, I think in his early 80s, doing this character for so long. It's going to be hard to see the franchise without him because, again, like I said, the guy's in his 80s and he's still pulling off probably a not bad interpretation of what he was doing when he was in his 60s when this franchise was new, if you could believe that. Ultimately, should you see Saw X when it hits, like, streaming in the next couple of weeks or whatever, it's really up to you. If you're a Saw fan, you're probably happy that you're getting this back-to-basics approach. I would be more or less the same way, too. However, the big takeaway is this a good endpoint for Tobin's time as Jigsaw? Honestly, yeah, but given the amount of money this is making more than Spiral last time around, yeah, I'm gonna say Lionsgate's gonna probably squeeze maybe one more movie out of Tobin Bell before they have to like figure out a way to like reboot it. Big spoilers I'll try to say for this review. They actually have a post-credit scene. It's very rare for the Saw franchise to have post-credits. I think the last time they tried one was during, I think, 6 to empathize with Amanda last minute on a flashback leading up to the stuff that was happening in between 5 and 6. Long story there. I'll see if I can find the card for that as well. Other than that, I'm gonna have to give this the highest recommendation, and keep in mind this is the first of like 2 Saw movies proper I've done, I think current day reviews with. So for retro reviews for the majority of the Saw series, I'll say 1 through 7 is in a good 7 to 8 out of 10 range. 3 and final chapter are basically the lowest tier. I'm gonna say 4 out of 10's there, given what they were trying to do at the time for both of their finales. Jigsaw, Logan, if he was the first apprentice all along. Gonna go a hard 5 out of 10. It's a hard promise to be the new guy that was there all along. Spiral, I think I might have did a final rating there, so go to my review for that. As for Saw X, I'm gonna probably give it the highest recommendation I probably will ever do for the series. 8 out of 10. Not gonna lie, there's still a lot of edits that are basically Kevin coming back to the franchise proper, directing this. If I remember correctly from what YMS said in his reaction to the trailers, Kevin was really the voice of the franchise, and Daryl Lynn Bousman was like more of like the, I think the baggage that was the early days of Saw, so that's really up to you, which version of which directors you like more. Me personally, I'm liking Kevin's direction, because again, you can definitely see just from the cinematography down to like those pan zooms they've been doing with the traps in this movie alone, feels like it's getting back to its roots of like the original series, so that's really up to you. So with that all being said, hey, that all out of the way, Cole, who wrapped me up this time around, seriously? Look, just don't laugh. He's in his working name, so just be done with it. Oh, just show me him. Hello, Retro. Oh, god damn it. Hang on a sec. Wait, you could have gotten out of that the whole time? Yeah, no shit. Morphin Retro Henshin. Look, I'm still working out a name for this. So, what exactly did you want me to do here? Have you learned appreciation of the value of these 2 double reviews? And what appreciation is that? I don't know, catching up to these reviews once and for all? Yeah, that might as well be the through line. So, you're cool, we're good. Are you actually going to help out the X-Men book? I don't know, maybe. How that figures. Anyway, go to what's probably a very confused Damien. So, are we just doing amalgam rules? Where were we on the multiversal scale? Like, honestly, what is that? To the end cards finally coming up with my previous review, which was, I think, Loki Season 2, speaking of Marvel content, and go to, I'm guessing, Signal over here. Yeah, what, so all that was just basically a gotcha that I'm still in limbo kind of stuff? Yeah, more or less. It's basically becoming Chasm MMO since last year. That's, like, really boring and needless. Alright, can I stop lowering the gun? Yeah, go to them over there to the previous short, which was my reaction to what is currently going on with CM Punk finally coming back to WWE. Yeah, you thought it'd be another Critical Role short. That's also there in the shorts playlist as well. That all being said, figure here to hit the notification bell down below. Subscribe like usual. And with that all being said, I am a very tired and very still coming off of the Thanksgiving holiday. Retrokid review saying, hope you enjoyed this pretty rushed double review. I'm going to be honest, this is probably the shortest double review I've done in like years. So go for that. As for both movies, they're both worth it in their own merit. I think that's kind of what the theme is are they worth watching it now that the strike's over? My gut reaction is yes, if you're a fan of both of these franchises, especially for Blue Beetle's case, it's doing more course correction than I think even Saw X is doing. So again, that's up to you. And that all being said, take care, subscribe, and yeah, who's cleaning up the barrels? Because I really need him for the Nerf review. Not it. Oh, come on, really?